7 o'clock. Call meeting to order. I'll rise to pledge allegiance.
My allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That would be late. Let's move on to roll call. Alderman Lewis? Here. Alderman Wilson? Here. Alderman Hogue?
Here.
Alderman Bell? Absent. Alderman Bocart? Absent. And Alderman Plank? Here. Okay. Can I get approval of March 21st, 2023 meeting minutes, please?
I'll make a motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Can we get a motion to approve of tonight's agenda?
I'll make that motion.
Mr. Lewis made a motion. Can I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Moving on to special items, none. Appointments to the board commissions, I see none. Just a reminder that any public comments need to be to the city clerk by Wednesday before the meeting date. Public hearing, voluntary annexation of 0.77 acres located on Route M for Merrill Mill, Samar, and Charlotte Samar. Can I get a staff report, please?
Yep, Darren's staff report in your packet. You should all be quite familiar with this chunk of property. The SMAR Trust has submitted this for voluntary annexation. Tonight we're having the public hearing. After the protest period, we'll come back around with board action to give consideration to approving the annexation. So all tonight is public comments if anyone has any.
Do we have any public comment on the annexation? I don't see. All right, then we'll move on.
Darla, did you get any in writing for that? No.
Introductions and first readings. Council Bill number 2023-008, an ordinance authorizing the appropriation of funds to certain accounts within the fiscal year 2023 budget. Can we get a staff report, please?
This is first reading only. These are housekeeping items to clean up this fiscal year's budget for the end of the fiscal year. Second reading, we will have some additional ones just as further cleanup after the first amendment.
Anybody have any questions? Shelley? Can I get a motion to approve Council Bill number 2023-008, an ordinance authorizing the authorization of appropriation of funds to certain accounts within the fiscal year?
So moved.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Alderman Plank? Alderman Bocart?
Aye.
Alderman Old?
Aye.
Alderman Wilson?
Aye.
And Alderman Lewis.
Aye.
Moving on. Council Bill number 2023-009, an ordinance adopting the annual budget for the fiscal year beginning May 1st, 2023, and appropriating funds pursuant therefore.
So again, this is the first reading of the budget. There was an attachment in your packet to show the actual budget book and then the attachment of the budget worksheet. There are going to be some modifications depending on discussions that take place for trash. And then we did receive verification that we got the grant for the generator for this building. And so there will be some modifications to that as well because we will have a portion of that to pay. So the second reading, everything will be done and the modifications will be updated.
How much should we get on the grant?
All told, it's $87,000, give or take, with an $8,000 cost share from the city.
Can we get a motion approving Council Bill number 2023-009, an ordinance adopting the annual budget for the fiscal year beginning May 1st, 2023, and appropriating funds pursuant therefore?
I'll make that motion.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Alderman Lewis?
Aye.
Alderman Wilson?
Aye.
Alderman Old?
Aye.
Alderman Bocart?
Aye.
And Alderman Plank.
Aye.
Do we need to call Mr. Bocart and Alderman Bocart into the roll call? Carla?
I just put that he was in attendance at 7:03.
All right, thank you.
Sorry.
Teacher don't get you next. Moving on to old business, ordinance number 1429, an ordinance authorizing the city of Ashland, Missouri, amending the city code in regarding recreational marijuana use. Staff report, please.
This is, I think we talked about this at length last time. It's a stripped down version of the standard review, took out a lot of the things we talked about in closed session. You guys can, I know it's a longer ordinance, like I said, mostly been taking stuff out. Don't have much more to say.
Do you have any questions or comments or concerns? Can I get a motion authorizing ordinance number 1429, an ordinance of the city of Ashland, Missouri, amending the city code in regards to recreational marijuana? Motion.
So moved.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Alderman Plank?
Nay.
Alderman Bocart?
Aye.
Alderman Old?
Aye.
Alderman Wilson?
Aye.
And Alderman Lewis.
Aye.
Moving on. Ordinance number 1430, an ordinance approving ranking lot number 3 subdivision replat.
Second reading, you have Darren's staff report in your packet. I can answer any questions on that as needed.
Any questions for Kyle on that? Can I get a motion approving ordinance number 1430, an ordinance approving ranking lot number 3 subdivision replat?
I'll make the motion.
Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Alderman Lewis?
Aye.
Alderman Wilson?
Aye.
Alderman O.
Aye.
Alderman Bocart?
Aye.
And Alderman Blank.
Aye.
Moving on to new business. A resolution authorizing the city treasurer to do a one-time disbursement to the Ashland Betterment Coalition for the 2022-2023 budget for the continued support relating to the Missouri Main Street Connection Grant. Staff report, please.
Included in your packet was the budget disbursement from Rizzi. I went over it, it looks good, I recommend that we pass the resolution.
Any questions for Shelley?
And the funds are gonna come from community development. I went back and looked at the previous ordinance, and that's where they were slated to come out of.
That makes sense.
All right, can we get a motion to approve the resolution authorizing the city treasurer to do a one-time disbursement to the Ashland Betterment Coalition for 2022-2023 budget for the continued support relating to the Missouri Main Street Connection Grant?
So moved.
Can we get a second?
Second.
Alderman Plank?
Aye.
Alderman Bocart?
Aye.
Alderman Holt?
Aye.
Alderman Wilson?
Aye.
And Alderman Lewis.
Aye.
Moving on to reports. I have a few things I want to go over on my report. I would like to go over with Kyle about the Betterment, Ashland Betterment Coalition over last night's meeting. So we'll go over those together. Just some questions about some things we want to talk about at the roundabout, different ideas they have. So we'll get into that later on. The only other thing I have is a safe place program. Kyle, do we have any building or any business in town that is providing a safe place program for kids?
I will have to defer to Gabe on that one if he's aware of any. I can't think of any that come to mind.
I'm sorry, I was thinking about this and wasn't listening. What was the question?
Safe spaces.
Safe place program for kids,
Like firehouses and stuff.
like YMCA. One thing, I looked it up and one thing that came up was YMCA was one of them. Library was one of them, stuff like that. So do we have any designated?
The only, we don't have any, I'm not sure if this applies or not, but Boone County Fire used to have a Safe Kids program.
Well, this would be like if kids are in danger and they needed to go somewhere and they would go to this place and it's kind of a,
Yeah, in my time with the city, I've never been made aware of anything like that.
In my previous community, we implemented this program and basically just made a little window cling that could go on the business windows. Wouldn't take a whole lot to go out.
It's like, the little yellow sign that says safe place, and the A is a little house figure, like a little Monopoly house. Where I'm from, it was the firehouse had it.
So is there any kind of training that has to go along with that for the?
I
whoever
don't
the
think
business
so.
Knows who to contact if somebody shows up and needs help?
I wouldn't know, I can't, to be honest with you, I haven't done this far enough.
Is this an organized
It
program?
is an
It
organized
is,
program.
it is.
You basically just take all the media from them and create your logo if you wanna have a unique logo. And go. Certainly something that can be discussed with Firehouse and us and figure out a joint program probably.
I'm looking at their National Safe Place website, they have a whole page for community, and they have presentations and all kinds of materials.
Well, we have a restaurant that showed interest in that program, and they wanted to know if they could be part of it, so I told them that we would talk about that.
We can certainly dig into it.
And that is all of my report. Moving on to city administrator report, please.
Next meeting, I believe, we're gonna have, like liaison appointments, review those, so with that, I know there's some folks that either want off certain committees that they're on, or want back on to different committees, so I'll probably discuss with Doris and send out an email later this week, so that you guys can express interest and where you'd like to be assigned, or if you wanna stay with where you're at. I know Doris has kind of picked up ABC.
Which, I'm glad I'll bring it up to you later, but they would like to have an Alderman.
So, I'm for the most part going to all the chamber and Southern Boone Economic Development meetings, but if there's a desire from anyone on the board to go to those, you're welcome to, and we can certainly help coordinate that, but, more to follow, just wanna let you know that that'll be coming next meeting. Other than that, I sent out some updates on yard waste and recycling. We can certainly take some time to discuss recycling, that's probably the more imminent one. You know, if we're looking to do anything with programmatic change, it would behoove us to do that before May 1st, if you wanna actualize any of the cost savings offered by Republic. If not, we can certainly continue to engage with them and push that back as long as we want. So I had sent out some options, so just feel free to review those and let me know thoughts. There's unfortunately not an easy answer, but hopefully we can find one that most will be agreeable to.
Have you got any more responses to the survey?
Only about maybe 10 or 15 more since last report. I think we were in like the 130s when I previously printed off for you guys, and we're over 155 now, pushing 160, 165, so. People are still getting on there and clicking buttons, so that's good. It hasn't really changed a whole lot of the data on there. It's held pretty much consistent across the board since the beginning, so I don't know if we can necessarily lean on that to really make a decision, but at least lets us know where some people are leaning or thinking, so. It's about, we assume that, all those are individual households, that's about 10% of our current residential recycling customers, so not a very large percentage, but certainly helps us be a little bit more informed about the way people are leaning, so. We've got some options, we just need a direction to run in at this point.
Anything else, sir?
I do not think I have anything else.
I have a question. The yard waste
Yep.
situation, did he just decide to quit participating before the contract was up, or did the contract expire, or what?
I have not had a chance to pull it back up and review to see, it was approved last April and ran for 12 months, so I don't know if there's a definitive drop dead date in that or not without pulling it up.
Moving on to the attorney's report.
No report tonight.
Police chief monthly report.
sure everybody's had an opportunity to read it. If not, we'll cover the highlights here and emphasize a few things. As mentioned as the first point, we've filled our vacant police officer position with a young man named Lane Wilson, who's currently attending the police academy in Warrensburg. Turns out a handful of recruiting trips to Warrensburg have been pretty fruitful because we've not only hired somebody in the academy, but we've got a fair amount of interest from other cadets there, some of which, well, I believe there's been at least some discussions held with some folks there that are already sponsored by other agencies. So it's been wildly successful going out there and visiting with that academy. So Lane's graduating the academy in June and will immediately start field training with Tom back there, assuming he doesn't want a couple of days off in between, but he's eager and I'm pretty sure ready to hit the road. So we anticipate having him fully trained up if everything goes smoothly. I'm estimating August or so. We've conducted a couple other interviews this week. In fact, they did one today with another cadet from Warrensburg in anticipation of the creation of a new position, assuming that the new budget is adopted at the end of this month. So I'm trying to make sure that we got people lined up for that whenever it becomes available. Still got one officer on light duty for the foreseeable future. To touch on some training stuff, our spring firearms qualifications are actually tomorrow. I want to extend an invitation to the entire board of aldermen to come out and participate, watch, do whatever you want, just in case there's ever questions from the people that you represent about what we do, so that you can kind of immerse yourself in that and have a little better understanding of it. In fact, there may be availability to take a, like I said, participate and actually get on the line and, you know, fire some rounds from our newly obtained patrol rifles.
Where is it?
When is it?
Where?
Oh, I'm sorry, Green Valley and just south of Hallsville there, out on Academy Road. Just kind of a small point that we're particularly proud of. One of our TASER instructors recently trained the entire Sturgeon Police Department on TASER. It consists of one officer, but nevertheless, we taught the entire department. ABD personnel have been attending weekly work sessions regarding active shooter protocols in the county with Boone County Fire, Columbia Fire, the Boone County Sheriff's Office, Hallsville PD, Sturgeon PD, CPD, and MSHP. This is important because of, you know, some recent events that have occurred, particularly the incident in Nashville highlights our desperate need for more funding to hire and retain more officers, obtain and maintain better equipment, and pay for training to keep these officers competent. So, as people ask why we need more money, this is why. One big reason. The rest of it's just, you know, all the stats that you guys get every month. And then I kind of just a couple of things. I wrote this Friday afternoon, late Friday evening. There was an incident, a domestic incident, where we ended up having to spend a little extra time working on. Chased a gentleman from one neighborhood to the next and arrested him and a relative of his, him for domestic assault and resisting arrest, and his sister for also for assault and basically for interfering with our operation. And then some of you may have heard that there were a couple of local businesses that were burgled late Sunday night. We have taken the person whom we believe is responsible for that into custody, and he's currently sitting in the Boone County Jail. So a couple of big ones that didn't quite make the stats or reports because of the cutoff, getting everything done. Any questions?
I have not heard that. What businesses?
Couple of local eating establishments, Woody's and Copper Kettle. I assume they don't mind us telling that, so.
I have not heard that.
That's your report, sir?
That is.
Thank you. Moving on to Alderman. Alderman Lewis,
No report tonight.
Alderman Wilson.
No report.
Alderman O.
No report.
Alderman Plank.
Last week I mentioned we need some kind of mechanism to schedule a trash pickup day. But my request was answered by the Parks and Rec Department, I believe. There's a cleanup day on April 22nd at 8 a.m. Workday. So thank you to the Parks and Rec Department for sponsoring that. So I plan on being there to help. So hope we can get as many people as we can to clean up, pick up, whatever we can do to clean up the city. So, and then I had a question about has there been any dialogue in administration in regards to obtaining a street sweeper for the city?
Several years ago, we looked at that. A lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of money. You know, in springtime, obviously, the streets are, you know, the worst, I think, in spring, because of all the salt and things on the streets, but.
Yeah, it was looked into
Yeah.
a few years
2.5
ago,
years
and
ago.
even used, they were ungodly expensive.
Yeah.
We had no place in the budget to.
Plus maintenance and labor and somebody to, you know.
Didn't MoDOT do something, across the overpass roundabouts or something like a year or two ago?
Kind of came through and got all the.
Yeah, because I don't know if it's something we initiated or something that I'm guessing that they probably didn't just volunteer to do. But, it was done. They definitely took care of, I can't even remember if they went downtown or not, but I know that they did the bridge and the roundabouts and kind of all that stuff from all the accumulation of debris that kind of sits there.
We can check into it and find out.
I have another city that rented a street sweeper machine.
Yes.
I don't know the mechanics of that, but evidently there are places where you can rent these things.
There's one in Columbia you can.
That must be where the guy that was, Mita, had rented one.
That's all I have.
Thanks, sir. Alderman Bocart.
Yeah, just real quick, just to kind of add to that, and if we can maybe get with MoDOT, about cleaning the right-of-ways, specifically, I think when Lauren mentioned the last meeting, over there by Industrial, by Sentinel, and, the rental place, that, I mean, it is a mess down there, and I know it has a lot of it has to do with every day that it's been nice has been 50-mile-an-hour wind, so I know debris and stuff, but it gets hung up in those trees. I know MoDOT, I believe MoDOT came through and trimmed that stuff in front of Mosier's and left it in a condition that no private citizen would probably be able to leave, you know, a tree halfway cut up. And I know that they're not super inclined, I mean, because it costs them money, right? I know they're not super inclined to take care of that stuff, but we need to kind of open up a little bit of communication about potentially taking care of those spaces.
You were just told me this.
Yeah, that's, okay. What does it say that they did it yesterday?
Yeah, it says they did it yesterday.
So, they missed the spot. Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing that Laura talked about, right, is with the, with those delineators getting bashed in all the time. There's chunks of yellow stuff all over the, you know, curb, on the sidewalks or whatever you wanna call that area, the bike lane, whatever. But it is actually, I mean, it's a mess. And if it was a private citizen, you know, nobody would be able to just leave it like that. So
No, you're right.
if we can just get whatever needs to be done to kind of communicate and see if they will clean it up, trim it up, so it doesn't get caught up in there or whatever.
Okay.
That's it.
Thanks, sir. Moving on, general comments and public. Julie, you have anything you want to talk about?
I can discuss a little bit more about ABC and kind of, so. Izzy Smith, Vice President of Ashland Betterment Coalition. I spoke to you guys last time and appreciate your interest and further thoughts and approval of continuing a little bit of funding for Ashland Betterment Coalition. That will go a long way to help us continue projects that I'd like to mention some things that we've been brainstorming and are working on, putting together this year, whether that is fundraisers of sorts for ourselves or just events for the community to get them engaged, moving around, using our downtown, so that hopefully, maybe people are more inclined to do things like trash pickups and things because they're actually using the area, instead of just driving by and wishing someone else would do it. So, some things that we've talked about are events and things to improve or bring to the city. We've discussed maybe some kind of street fest, music night. Jefferson City does a on Thursday Night Live in the summertime, and there is a local business who is kind of interested in helping host that and put something like that together. So that's been a discussion. We're going to do the 4th of July parade again on the 4th and make sure to submit our permit to the city in plenty of time. And then we've also been offered the idea to adopt the fireworks show, which we need to dig into that a little bit more to make sure that can be 100% sponsored by business. It seems well received by the community, but it also takes a lot of funds, and we've just been gifted funds that are more importantly spent other places. So that's something we're considering. We are going to continue to bring social and family-friendly events to town. So we did the Around Ashland already and Trivia Night, which were successes, and hope to continue just small events like that that are hopefully fairly easy to plan and can engage the community a little bit. We are discussing partnering with a local business who is doing a Kentucky Derby event, and finding some way to add a fundraiser for us to that. So that's coming up fairly quickly, and we're working with them to get like the logistics together. And thank you, Mr. Volkart, for the suggestion and push for the business to start it so that we could kind of join in and help them on that. Christmas events we're looking at doing. We need to look a little bit more closely at what Parks and Rec already does, so that we're not stepping on toes there, but we're thinking some kind of Santa and reindeer event that we're looking at. We are looking at doing a wine walk as soon as we get insurance as a fundraiser for ourselves. Helping to encourage, promote, and grow Small Business Saturday. There currently someone with the American Legion is doing that and has found success, but we're hoping to be able to help them grow that and make it, again, better even if that's just helping promote. So that's something we're looking at improving and helping with. We're also looking at a communication and email list. We're hoping this can be beneficial for the city to make announcements. And I know it's really been talk of the board to have basically a weekly digest of events going on and stuff, and that's going to be something that we try to get implemented. Mostly now that we have a little bit of admin funds, our main concern is having someone able to dedicate the time to doing that, but we are already doing it on social media, so it's probably something pretty relative that we can get in place. And then lastly, partnering with the Economic Development and Chamber more closely to bring that to be closer to one organization unifying towards purpose. So any questions I can answer?
Can you, sorry, what is this Kentucky Derby thing?
So
It's a horse race.
It hasn't really been announced yet, but it's gonna be like a watch party. They have, I believe, secured Eagle Knolls Event Center already for it. And it's going to be a fundraiser / hangout / Eagle Knolls gonna run specials. They're still working on logistics of it. But watch party is the main goal of it, and then some kind of fundraising for our efforts as Ashland Betterment Coalition.
And betting on horses.
But
It's a mile and a quart grade 1 for a 3-year-old thoroughbred.
And
Not that I checked.
wearing pretty hats and drinking mint juleps.
That was a trivia question.
Is your group involved in the food truck vendors?
We are not, I'm unsure where that is. Okay. So yeah, that's another goal, like I said, with even partnering with economic development, is just getting everyone on the same page of who's doing what so that we can all benefit from it, rather than working against each other and say, trying to put on a food truck vendor something of our own. So we definitely think that's important, and I know that the events that we've been looking at, like I said, we're trying to, not step on toes of events that are already happening, but also partner alongside of those so that both events can be successful.
Really enjoyed the trivia night, so.
Awesome, well, we hope to do that again. It seemed like everyone had fun. That's something that we have the flexibility to take it business to business and really support them. I know Woody's had a great turnout for their night as well, so that was good for us to be able to support them and create some revenue and get people in the business spending money.
How's the planners coming?
Planters are coming along nicely. We expect within the next couple of weeks to have our first one established at the corner of Johnson and Henry Clay. Probably within those same couple of weeks, we should have plants established and starting to grow. I was downtown today and I counted 9 of the smaller planters that we're going to adopt, plus 2 window hanging baskets that I need to discuss with the owner if she would let us maintain those and help plant. So moving along nicely, I'm kind of waiting on that weather turn so that we don't plant things that just die. And we have also had more interest in helping care for those. So as I mentioned last time, the ag department is still working on getting someone who's committed to that. We've also talked to some community members and gotten in touch with the garden club who is showing interest in helping maintain in any event is going to help us with the professional side of pruning, fertilizing, all of those things to make sure that they are professionally growing and kept maintained, where the watering and stuff like that can be done by just typical uneducated whoever wants to help basically on plants. So
Some doing high school.
well, they're just not a professional, you know.
All right, any questions for Izzy? Thank you for the update.
Thank you.
All right, moving on, can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I thought you wanted to stay. Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.